Ayo, welcome back. This is Ty Ty. So this week I wanted to hop in and do another video on background vocals. I got to listening to a few things and really kind of comparing some of my background vocals to a homie of mine, ATG, because we've been working on a tape together. And basically, his just sound so much bigger and livelier than mine do. And I noticed he's been doing a couple things different. So then I got to looking into my own kind of tweak on things, and I just want to go ahead and break that down for you. But this is actually a song that we got coming off of this new tape that'll be out here in the next couple months, called Way Back. Let's go ahead and I'll give you a little taste, and then we'll break down the background vocals. I got off the plane, got 200 straight off the dash. No rental, I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex, two on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turning APs, amphetamines, stack. That thing hard. I love this song. Alright, so I'm gonna mute the beat and let you hear just part of the hook with the background vocals in there. And there's a section up here where there's a lot more, and I'm still kind of editing this, but this is the meat and potatoes of what I'm gonna be doing. I got off the plane, got 200 straight off the dash. No rental, I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex, two on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and peek up here real quick. Shawty act up, I'm cutting her off, she messy. Shoot up club, fuck up dub, king of these streets. Amazing how easy it is to flip key. I got all the plan. Amazing how easy it is to flip a key. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'll just kind of. So, it's kind of basically the same as what I was doing before, but the mixing aspect is definitely where it gets different. So, I'm running my dubs through a doubler instead of actually dubbing those themselves and panning them. I'm running a doubler and I'm just cutting out the center information here, and you know they're both maxed out. I believe the doubler, yep, you can only go out to 45% on each side. Then what I'm doing here, this is the real important part to me. You normally it comes in where it's kind of like this. If I can get it to do it. Come on. Boop-doop. Stock setting is kind of like that. But then what you just kind of do is, you know, you're rolling off highs, lows. That way it's not kind of just combating. So I'll go ahead and solo this out. Take it up here. Plane, straight off the dash, rental, side and by the slide, forever. You know, I got some long delay, some long reverb. This is the delay itself is, let me find that. Nothing too crazy. It's just a quarter note delay. Got some low cut, some high cut. I got it on the telephone effect for this song. Some decent feedback here, 100% wet, and then just kind of feed it in. And then on the long reverb, I am doing 50%. Pre-delay is 13 milliseconds. A little bit of a longer tail on that, and I got the chaotic chamber. It's about the only thing that I really mess with as far as the standard settings on Valhalla. And then let's see here. Just an EQ, you know, rolling off some lows, rolling off some highs. A little notch out there. Let's see here. And then on this one, I actually have a filter, just because the whole vibe of this song is definitely like Future 56 Nights type deal, you know, real like underwater. Just, I love that sound. I really, really do. But moving on from that, then as we go down, I don't have any of these labeled. I just been kind of frantic messing with this past couple days, just like really searching for a way that I want my background vocals to sound. And I kind of ran into some issues, but like I got that worked out. So, you know, on the first two sets, we'll still say these are dubs too, because they're not necessarily harmonies. I'll go ahead and play these. two-tone plain Jane, I remember them.
So what I did here, just to kind of add a little bit of sauce, this plugin's free. I picked this up, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It's called Memory. It's just like kind of like a chorus, but you can hear it without it.
Dash, no rental.
And then with it engaged.
Dash, no rental.
Just kind of adds a little character to it. And with these, I'm panning 59% each direction. Same kind of delay settings, long verb, reverb. I don't have no slap delay on this one. Actually, I got a video coming up soon where I have basically kind of reworked my vocal chain, and I have it set up to where I can just kind of play with effects instead of having to build it every time I start a new session. And I'll be showing you guys that here soon. I'm really, really excited about it. It's very, very handy, and just kind of on the fly, you can really feel out some creative tweaks. And then moving on to the harmonies, the last two, these are harder pans, 95, 95 on both. And you can kind of see here I'm staggering it down, like the dubs is turned down to negative 7.2. The second row is negative 9.3. The third is negative 10.6, 10.5. And let's see here. On the harmonies, I got a retune speed of 4. The second set of dubs is 10. And the first row of dubs is 10. I'll play these by themselves real quick.
Straight up dash, no rental.
Definitely have a little more reverb on the second set. So this is the second set is probably a little less than the third. Yeah, I have the reverb really cranked on the harmonies. All right, so then this is where we get into the big change of where it was. So before, I had all my sends routed through my vocal bus, and I wasn't even thinking about it, but then you go through all that extra processing on your reverb, your delay, so it's kind of compressing everything. So I took all my sends and I rerouted those to the master, so they're not going through the bus. And then I went ahead and used to have all my background vocals going to their own bus, and then that running to the lead vocal bus, which is more processing than I personally would like on it. And I just noticed with separating them and creating their own buses for each. So now this bus, the background bus, goes directly to the master, the same as the lead Vox goes to the master too. So they're all kind of separated, and I just feel like I'm getting a lot bigger background vocals without having to have them as loud. Because I was really wondering before, like, man, like, I don't want and no disrespect to Kodak, but I love his sound, but that's not really how I want to sound. I don't want it to sound like early 2000s where it's blatantly just dubbed to hell. I like it to be a little more smooth, especially when it comes to the actual dubs. Like the harmonies, they can stick out a bit. I really like the way that sounds. But going into it here, what I got going on is, so starting off with a Pro Q, I'm rolling off some lows, rolling off some highs, and then I got a dynamic band here where just kind of basically it's in the same spot as you're rolling off the lows, and you just kind of pull it down. I have it, well, maybe pulled down about 3 dB. That's about it there. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and mute all of these, and you can just kind of hear as it goes. So here goes without it.
I ain't a 200 straight up dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm about to slide forever though. I had that Rolex, two-tone plain Jane, I remember them.
So you can just tell they're not quite as combative with the lead. And then running into a C6, basically what I'm doing here, and you can take a moment, pause this, and copy down these settings. Basically what I got going on is for the third band, I am at a range of negative 5.7. I got the gain set to 0, and that's just kind of scooping out some of the mids, not too crazy, but it's definitely ducking it. And then same with the third band. This one is definitely, I got this set here to 281 with the range on this one. This is where you're really ducking out the mids, and I would say the first band is probably more low mids. But basically on the third band, scooping out the mids, you want to bring this range down to about negative 15-ish. And then I got the gain turned down too to negative 6, 6.5, kind of in there. And it kind of fluctuates per song, but it's kind of a good starting point. And then you can kind of just compress it down from there. And then on the higher part, I do kind of have it boosted up 6 dB on the gain. I got the range pulled down to negative 3.5. And let's go ahead and see what this sounds like real quick.
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex,
Without it.
put on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turn APs, amphetamines.
So you see how it's still nice and fat on the sides, but the middle is just, because that's where your lead goes. So it kind of just ducks that way out of the way. And one more time, just kind of watch the analyzer here.
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash.
You're really ducking out through this section.
Forever though, I had that Rolex, put on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turn APs, amphetamines. Stacking the squalor since I was young and I was hustling. Sips hustling. Shawty, she rolling my blunts, I'm smoking on pressure. I bless you. Shawty.
That top band is not doing too much, but it does bring out a little brightness when you up the gain on the high end there, and that's around the 1100 range. So then going on from there, I have this on here just in case if I want to kind of detune something a little bit or add some saturation or distortion. And then running into that, I love the way this Kramer tape works. Let's go ahead and see here. So without it,
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though.
now with it,
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though.
one more time.
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though. I had it.
Just gives it some character. And then after that, I went ahead and put some reverb on it. The settings aren't super specific, just kind of, I dialed it back to just 60% on the wet dry and kind of left everything else as it is for now. And it's on a plate. Let's go ahead and see. So without it,
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex, put on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turn APs, amphetamines.
so it does give it that vibe, and it just kind of tucks it down a little bit further. And I got an imager here in case I want to push things out a little bit wider. But then after all that, I'm go ahead and just add some 1176. I went ahead and just used the CLA Waves version just to kind of save on CPU. I use a lot of UAD plugins in general, so my DSP kind of gets taken up as the session gets bigger, and also I'm not trying to overload my CPU, so it's not as distinct as the lead, so I don't feel like you necessarily have to put a lot of heavy lifting plugins on your background vocals, but this does the trick. And plus the blue face is a bit brighter than the black, so let's go ahead and see without it.
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex, put on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turn APs, amphetamines. Stacking the squalor since I was young and I was hustling. Sips hustling. Shawty, she rolling my blunts.
All right, so now let's listen to it all together here.
I ain't got 200 straight off the dash, no rental. I keep a little bitch on the side, I'm by the slide. Forever though, I had that Rolex, put on plain Jane. I remember them, I was busting down P's, turn APs, amphetamines. Stacking the squalor since I was young.
All right, bet. So that's a quick little video for today. I hope that really helps. I know that it took me a minute to get the request done for the first background vocals, which I was kind of set in my ways with how I was doing that, but then once I really started analyzing it, I was like, man, I know I can be doing a lot more than what I'm doing with this. And, you know, there's variations of things that you can always do, and I'll be showing that in upcoming videos because I definitely have kind of put together a new vocal chain and then just some kind of effects that I'm going to be using on that vocal chain also. So I definitely want to share that with you guys as soon as I possibly can. I just want to kind of keep working out some of the details and make sure it's absolutely the best as it possibly can be before I present it. But as always, this is Ty Ty. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comments below. Anybody have any requests for upcoming videos, definitely holler at me. And I'm going to catch you next week. Peace.